Hello everyone. Your lesson for today is writing and graphing inequalities. Our learning target is to be able to write inequalities and represent solutions of inequalities on number lines. And our success criteria is I can write word sentences as inequalities, and I can determine whether a value is a solution of an inequality. And finally, I can graph the solutions of inequalities. For vocabulary, we have inequality, solution of an inequality, solution set, and graph of an inequality. An inequality is a mathematical sentence that compares expressions. It contains the symbols less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. To write a word sentence as an inequality, look for the following phrases to determine where to place the inequality symbol. For the symbol less than, phrases would be is less than or is fewer than. Is greater than or is more than would represent a greater than symbol. Is less than or equal to, is at most or is no more than would represent a less than or equal to symbol. And is greater than or equal to, is at least, or is no less than would represent a greater than or equal to symbol. A number q plus 5 is less than or equal to negative 7.9. Write this word sentence as an inequality. So let's break this down. A number q plus 5. So we could write that as q plus 5. Is less than or equal to, less than or equal to, and negative 7.9. So q plus 5 is less than or equal to negative 7.9. That is our inequality. A number x is at most 3. So here we have a number x. At most is less than or equal to 3. A number y added to 2, so 2 plus y is greater than 7. A number c multiplied by 3, so 3 times c, is less than negative 12. A number m minus 1.5 is no less than 2. So m minus 1.5 is no less than, that means greater than or equal to, 2. At least 3 students from our school are in a chess tournament. So students from our school, at least means greater than or equal to 3. Your ring size is less than 7.5. So let's say R stands for ring size, less than 7.5. The temperature is no more than negative 1 degree Fahrenheit. So we'll say T for temperature is no more than that is less than or equal to -1. The elevation of a frogfish is greater than -8.5 meters. So let's say F for frogfish greater than -8.5. At least 3 students from our school are in a chess tournament. Students from our school could be represented with the variable S. At least means greater than or equal to. So S is greater than or equal to 3. Now you try it. Try it number 1 and 2 on your own, and then push play when you're ready for the solutions. A number X is at least, so that's greater than or equal to -10. Twice a number Y, so that's 2Y, or 2 times Y, is more than, so that's greater than, -5 halves. Here's 2 more for you to try on your own. A number Y is no more than, so that's less than or equal to, -8. A number B is less than 5 times a number K. A solution of an inequality is a value that makes the inequality true. An inequality can have more than one solution. The set of all solutions of an inequality is called a solution set. Please take a look at the table. For example, if x is -2, -2 plus 2 is equal to 0. 0 is less than or equal to -1? No, it is not. 0 is greater than -1, so we would say this is not a solution. -3 plus 2 is -1. -1 is less than or equal to -1. It's equal. So we would say yes, -3 is a solution, and -4 as well would be a solution, because -4 plus 2 is -2. -2 is less than 1. Tell whether -2 is a solution of y minus 5 is greater than or equal to -6. So this requires substitution. -2 minus 5 is greater than or equal to -6. -2 minus 5, that's chop slash, so -7 is greater than or equal to -6. On a number line, here's 0, there's -6, there's -7. -7 is not greater than -6. -7 is to the left, so we would have to say no, it is not a solution. Tell whether -2 is a solution to -5.5y is less than 14. So a negative times a negative is a positive, and 2 times 5.5 is 11. 11 is less than 14. Yes. Now you try it. Use substitution to determine whether -5 is a solution to the following inequalities. For number 3, we'll say -5 plus 12 is greater than 7. -5 plus 12 is 7. So is 7 greater than 7? No. It's equal. For number 4, 1 minus 2 times -5 is less than or equal to -9. So we'll have to do order of operations. 2 times -5 is -10. 1 minus -10 is less than or equal to -9. Chop, chop, so that's 11 is less than or equal to -9, and that's no. 11 is greater than -9. And now number 5, -5 divided by 2.5 is greater than or equal to -3. A negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 5 divided by 2.5 is 2. -2 is greater than or equal to -3. There's 0, -1, -2, -3. And -2 is further to the right, so it is greater. So we'd say yes, -5 is a solution for number 5. The graph of an inequality shows all the solutions of the inequality on a number line. An open circle is used when a number is not a solution. A closed circle is used when a number is a solution. An arrow to the left or the right shows that the graph continues in that direction. So let me explain with examples. R is less than or equal to -9. So I'm going to plot the point -9. I'm going to draw a circle, and it says R is less than, so I'm going to draw an arrow going to the left. So any number to the left of -9 would be a solution. But it also says that R is less than or equal to -9, meaning -9 would also be a solution, so I'm going to fill that in. G is greater than 2.75, so I label my point. My arrow greater than is going to go to the right. My circle will stay open because G cannot be equal to 2.75, it can only be greater. So if you have less than or equal, or if you have greater than or equal, you will have a filled in circle. If you have less than or greater than, you'll have an open circle. So for this one, we'll label our point -7. X is less than or equal to, the arrow points to the left. K is greater than 1. Our circle indicates that K cannot be equal to 1. It is just greater than, so our arrow points to the right. N is less than or equal to -2.5. A circle pointing to the left indicates that n is less than -2.5, but we fill the circle in because it could also be equal. .2 is our number to label. X is our variable, and it says X is greater than. So an open circle pointing to the right. A rock climber's sleeping bag is recommended for temperatures no less than -15 degrees Celsius. Write and graph an inequality that represents the recommended temperature for the sleeping bag. So let's say temperature is going to be represented with the variable T. No less than, where does it say no less than? That's going to be greater than or equal to. And then negative 15 is the sleeping bag's rating. So when we graph this, we're going to put negative 15. Our circle will be filled in because it's greater than or equal to. And the arrow is going to point over to the right. In order to try out for one of the parts in a play at the local theater, you must be at most 12 years old. Write an inequality that represents this situation. So what we know is at most, and if we look back in our notes, it says at most is less than or equal to. So let's say A for age is less than or equal to 12. And then if we were going to graph this, 12, circle would be filled in because you could be 12 or younger, and our arrow points to the left. For number 11, the 3 requirements to pass a fitness test are shown. Write and graph 3 inequalities that represent the requirements, then give a set of possible values for a person who passes the test. So, jog at least 2 kilometers. At least is the key word here, and at least means greater than or equal to 2. So the requirement must be greater than or equal to 2 kilometers. Perform 25 or more. So we would say the requirement is greater than or equal to 25 push-ups. And then perform at least. At least is also greater than or equal to, so the requirement is greater than or equal to 10 pull-ups. Now it's your turn. Please try it. To set a depth record, a submersible vehicle must reach a water depth less than negative 715 feet. A vehicle breaks the record by more than 10 feet. Write and graph an inequality that represents the possible depths reached by the vehicle. Go ahead and try to write an expression on your own. Key things to remember: less than, negative 715 feet, and the vehicle breaks the record by more than 10 feet. And then once you think you have it, push play and I'll show you the expression or the inequality. Okay, so what we know is that we have negative 715 feet. The vehicle breaks the record by more than 10 feet, so we're going to take away another 10. That's going to put us at negative 725 feet. So our depth is going to be less than 725 feet, and we would say, because it's negative, it's going to be below the water's surface. So D is less than negative 725 feet.